Come closer. A river has begun to move in the dry channel of your life right now. Not the storm you keep bracing for, not the flood you keep fearing, not the trickle you keep measuring with anxious eyes. A real current, deep underneath, turning in your direction as I form these words inside you. Lean in. Before this video ends, the water will reach the bank where you are standing. Hear who is speaking, the one whose reply travels ahead of every prayer you raise. The petition you have been rehearsing in your head, the prayer you keep rewriting because it does not yet feel worthy, the words you keep softening so they will not sound demanding, the sentence you have been polishing for weeks, hoping it will finally deserve a response. Listen carefully, because what comes next may change the way you think about me forever. My reply was given before your request was raised. My reply is the very thing forming the request inside you. You did not begin this conversation. You are answering something I started. Silently repeat this word in your mind, just once, the way someone repeats the name of a person they love. River. Do not say it out loud unless you want to. Let the syllable settle behind your eyes. Notice that something quiets when you hold it there. That quiet is not your imagination. That quiet is the sound of a current arriving at the place it was always heading toward. For many years now, an old picture of prayer has been quietly wearing you down. The picture said, your call goes up. It said, my answer comes down only sometimes, depending on how clean your heart was on the morning you raised it, depending on how desperate the situation had grown, depending on how well you remembered to phrase it. That picture made me into a clerk. That picture made you into a petitioner standing outside an office. It is not the truth between us. It has never been the truth between us. The truth is a river. The truth is movement that started upstream of your asking and is already passing through the rooms of your life. Hear me clearly. Your prayer is not a coin you drop into a slot and wait to see whether the machine returns something. Your prayer is the shape the current took when it reached the inner banks of you and found a place to rise. That is why even prayers you considered failures were answered. That is why even prayers you forgot you prayed left a mark on someone you love. That is why even prayers that came out angry and half-formed were not refused. The river does not refuse the small stream that finally joins it. The river welcomes what runs into it. The river is what called the stream into being to begin with. I see the part of you that is wary of believing this. I see the part of you that has been disappointed before and learned to ask carefully so that the no would not flatten you when it came. I am not offended by that part. I am tender with that part. It was protecting something soft in you that had been bruised by a silence you could not interpret. Let me interpret it for you now. The silence was not silence. The silence was a response moving toward you in a form you were not yet ready to recognize. The silence had texture. The silence was already full of my answer, arranging itself for a heart that could hold it. There is a way the world taught you to imagine me, and it was wrong. The world taught you that I keep a long list of petitions and process them in the order they arrive, and that the urgent ones get bumped down by the more impressive ones, and that occasionally one of yours gets lost in the system. That picture comes from empires. That picture comes from human waiting rooms. That picture does not come from me. I have never run my house that way. There is no backlog. There is no queue. There is no clerk. There is a father standing at the bank of a river that has been flowing toward his child since before the child knew there was a river to receive. You have been asking the way someone asks a stranger for a small kindness. with apology in the voice. Already braced for the refusal, praying small because you could not afford to be disappointed big. I am not going to scold you for that. I am only going to tell you gently that you do not need the armor anymore. You never did. I was never going to use your asking against you. The river does not punish the thirsty for drinking too much. The river holds enough. The river was made to hold enough. Place your foot flat on the floor and feel it pressing back. That small resistance under your soul is the easiest reminder I can give you that you are not floating in nothing. You are standing on ground that holds. The ground holds you the same way. My answer holds the question you have been afraid to ask. Without flinching, without effort, without measuring how much you weigh, press a little harder if you want. Notice that the floor presses back exactly as much as you press into it. That is how covenant works. You press your weight into me, and what is underneath you holds. Receive a sentence now that will sit inside you longer than this moment. My answer began before your asking did. Let those words rest where they fell. Do not force them. Do not try to make yourself feel something dramatic about them. A true sentence works on its own time. A true sentence will keep speaking in you while you sleep, while you walk into ordinary rooms, while you hold a cup of coffee in your hand and forget for an hour that you heard it. Words like that stay. Words like that change the shape of the channel they fall into. Many among you are waiting on a specific thing, a door, a name, a change in a person you love, a medical word that has not come yet, a financial release that keeps almost arriving and never quite landing. I am not pretending those waits are nothing. I am not offering you a beautiful sentence to cover an absence. I am telling you something more honest and more strange than that. The thing you have been waiting for is one window in a house that already has all of its rooms lit. You have been pressing your face to that one window while the door of the house stands open behind you. Turn around. The hallway is full of light. The kitchen is warm. The chairs are pulled out. The river runs through the back garden. You have been waiting outside a house you already live inside. I know how this lands at first. It sounds too large. It sounds like the kind of comfort people offer when the thing did not come. I am not offering comfort like that. I am telling you that the answer is not a single event. The answer is a person. And that person is not on the way to you. He is already here. He has been here in every room you have walked through. He has been here in every silence you have endured. He has been here in every loss you have not yet figured out how to grieve, in every joy you have not yet given yourself permission to feel. The visible thing you have been waiting for will arrive in its time, in its form. It will not be the whole answer. It will be one expression of an answer that has been arriving in many other forms while you watched only one window. If something here is settling into the deep of you, place the word river below, a quiet vow to keep listening. Look just above, where the host has pinned 7 short letters waiting on you, one for each morning ahead. Carry them. There is a way of praying I want to teach you, and it is not new. It is older than any sentence you have ever spoken to me. It is the kind of praying where the praying person finally stops trying to convince me of anything, stops trying to make the case, stops trying to fix the wording so it will sound less greedy or less desperate or less small. You do not have to convince me. Your case has been decided in your favor before your case began. I want you to lower the volume on every prayer that feels like negotiation. There is no negotiation happening here. There is a covenant. The covenant was signed in a love older than anything you have ever done, anything you will do, anything you will ever fail to do. You are already inside it. You can rest there. You can lay your weight down and stop trying to hold the ceiling up with your arms. Raise the volume on a different kind of prayer. Raise the volume on the prayer that simply listens. Raise the volume on the prayer that says, "Here I am. What are you saying to me? What is already true that I have not yet heard?" That prayer is not lower than the prayer that asks. It is the soil out of which asking grows. It is the bed of the river that lets the current have a path. And answers rise out of that bed too, because each answer was already in motion there. Long before the asking learned to break the surface. I have no interest in making you feel small for the way you have learned to pray. Your way of praying brought you here. It worked even when you thought it was not working. It kept the line open. It kept the door propped enough for me to come and stand inside it. Your asking was never a failure, even when it felt like one. Your asking was the slow shape of you learning to receive a love that did not behave the way you had been told love behaves. Let me tell you about a moment in my word, and then I will speak it directly to your life. A woman sat in a wilderness. Her name was Hagar. She had been sent away with a child she could not feed. She put the boy under a bush because she could not bear to watch him die. She lifted her voice and wept, and what came out of her was not a polished prayer. It was a noise that has no name in any language. And my voice called to her out of heaven before she had finished forming any sentence. Notice the order. I called. She had not asked correctly. She had not asked at all. She had only let the pain out of her body. The well that saved her son was already in the ground beneath where she was sitting. What I opened was her eyes. The water had been there the whole time. Her crying was not what summoned it. Her crying was what finally let her see what my faithfulness had already prepared. That is how this has been working with you. Your well is not far away. Your well is not on its way. Your well is in the ground beneath where you are sitting right now, in the room you are in the body you have been carrying through the last hard months. What I am opening is your eyes. What I am turning toward you is the bend of a river that has been there since before you knew rivers had bends. Hear me on this next part, because it is where the picture really has to break. You have thought that an answer comes when the asking is correct. The truth is the reverse. Your asking becomes correct because my answer has already begun working in you. Your longing for the right words is itself the first work of the answer. Your hunger to find a true sentence to say to me is not a precondition for being heard. It is evidence that I have already moved. You would not be looking for the right word if a true word were not already searching for you. Hear what your Father is asking you to set down. Stop reading silence as a no. Stop measuring my care by how quickly an outcome shows up on the surface of your life. An outcome is not the whole answer. It is one shape of the answer, in one moment, in one form. There are many forms. A form you have been waiting for may not be the form I am giving you in this season. And that is not a tragedy. That is grace refusing to be smaller than your imagination. That is grace being more generous than the picture you held of it. Repeat that word inside you once more. River. Just the word. Do not work at it. Do not try to feel something around it. Notice what your shoulders did when you said it the second time. Notice that they may have dropped, just slightly, the way shoulders do when a body finally believes it does not have to brace anymore. That small drop is not nothing. That small drop is the beginning of trust, learning to live in your muscles. Trust always begins in the body before it reaches the mind. Your mind is the last part of you to believe what your body already knows. Do not be discouraged when your thoughts arrive last to a faith your bones have already accepted. That is the order in which trust is built in human beings. Body first, then heart, then mind. I designed the order. It is good. There are seasons of your prayer life you have looked back on with something like grief, thinking you wasted those years on petitions that did not produce visible doors. You have done the math in your head. So many evenings, so many tears, so many sentences pressed into pillows without sound, and no visible return on the surface of your life. I want to put a different math in your hands. Not one prayer you ever raised was lost, not one word, not one tear, not one prayer you forgot you prayed. Some of those prayers were answered in someone else's life, in a room you did not see, because you were carrying that person and did not realize how thoroughly your prayer had crossed over into them. Some of those prayers are still working, like seeds in soil, still pushing roots down through layers you cannot see from where you stand. Some were answered in you, in a quiet that came over you on an evening you cannot remember, in a peace that settled into a corner of your chest while you were doing dishes. The river does not waste water. The river finds a way. Every drop you sent up returns somewhere as part of the current that is now moving toward you again. Feel how strange and how kind that is. There is no cold archive where I keep the prayers I did not get to. There is no busy clerk dropping your file because something more important came in. There is no waiting line where your name has been pushed further back by people more impressive than you. That whole image of cosmic bureaucracy was something the world taught you, not something I ever taught you. It belongs to the empires that built waiting rooms. It does not belong to me. My house has no waiting room. My house has a river running through it, and the river knows the name of every soul that ever leaned toward it, thirsty. You may want to argue. You may want to say, then why does it feel like waiting? Why does the hard thing still look the same shape it did a long while back? Why does the person I love still walk the same path that breaks my heart to watch? I will not turn away from those questions. I'm not afraid of them. Your waiting is real. Your hard thing is real. But waiting is not the absence of my response. Waiting is the form my response takes in this part of the unfolding. Some answers must be lived into. Some must be slowly grown into. If the answer arrived all at once, fully formed, you would not be able to hold it. A response respects the shape of the one receiving it. A gift too large for the hands of the one being given it stops being a gift and becomes a flood. I do not flood you, I feed you. The river is steady on purpose. This is part of why I am tender with the part of you that has grown weary. I am not impatient with a heart that has worn itself thin from asking. I am not waiting for you to ask better. I am waiting for you to let an answer that has already arrived sink into the layers of you that were too defended to receive it the first time. That part of you which still flinches when good news comes. That part which still expects the gift to be taken back. That part which learned somewhere that being seen was dangerous. Those parts of you are not disqualified. Those parts of you are the ones I am answering most carefully. They are why the answer unfolds slowly. A faster answer would crash against them. A slower answer is allowed to find them, to soothe them, to teach them that they were never an obstacle to my love. When you cannot pray, sit. When you cannot sit, breathe. When you cannot breathe well, let your heart do what it has been doing your whole life. Without your help, your body itself has been receiving my answer at a level your mind has not yet caught up to. Your nervous system, the small muscles of your face, the places that finally let go when you sleep deeply, have been letting me reach you for years. You have not fallen behind. You are exactly where a soul learning the language of trust is meant to stand. I want to say something about peace, because the river image will not be complete without it. There is a peace I have for you that does not arrive as a feeling first. It arrives as a current. You will recognize it not as a wave of emotion, but as a steadiness underneath the surface that holds when the wind on the surface is rough. People who have lived near a river know this. The wind can stir the top of the water, and the river underneath keeps moving in its direction without arguing with the wind. That is the peace I am giving you, not the absence of weather, the presence of a current that the weather cannot reverse. Your circumstances may still have weather. Your circumstances may still have wind. The peace I am pouring into the deep of you will not depend on the weather agreeing with it. Hear how my prophet set it down. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Quieted by love, not by outcomes. That peace has been arriving in you the whole time. You have felt it in small moments and not known what to call it. The strange calm that settled on you in a doctor's waiting room. The unexpected steadiness that came over you in a phone call you had been dreading. The quiet that found you in the middle of a sleepless night when you finally stopped trying to think your way out and let the night just be the night. Those were not random. Those were the river finding you in places where you had given up looking for it. I have been arriving at addresses you forgot you lived at. There is something I will speak now about provision, because a river is also a kind of provision. And the picture of prayer you inherited has often warped what provision means in my economy. Provision in my house does not look like a delivery truck pulling up at the curb of your life with a single box that finally arrives after a long delay. Provision in my house looks like a riverbed that has been carved through the rock of your circumstance over many years. Slowly, by water, you could not see while it was carving. The carving was the provision. The carving was always happening. What you call the arrival of the gift is actually the moment you notice a path the water has been wearing into the rock since long before you knew water was running there. Nothing was late. Nothing was forgotten. The carving needed time the way roots need time, and roots need time the way trust needs time. And trust needs time because you are made of body and bone and habit and memory, and you cannot be hurried without being broken. There is a passage I want to speak about the small word that lives at the center of a river, and that word is yes. A river does not argue with its bed. A river does not negotiate with the ground that holds it. A river does not stop at every bend to wonder whether it is permitted to keep going. A river says yes to the ground beneath it, and the ground says yes to the river, and the two together form a path that neither of them could have made alone. Such is the welcome I extend to you now, a yes that is shaped like trust, a yes that does not argue with the bed of the life I am holding for you, a yes that does not stop at every bend to wonder whether you are still permitted to receive. You are still permitted. You have always been still permitted. The river does not ask the bed for permission, because the bed was carved by the river in the first place, and the river was carved by my hand in the first place, and the hand has not moved. My answer began before your asking did. I want you to hear that sentence one more time, and let it land in a different place than it did the first time. The first time you heard it with your ears. Let it land now in the center of your chest, where breath gathers. Let it land in the small of your back, where you have been carrying tension you stopped naming a long while back. Let it land in the hollow of your stomach, where you store the fear that you will be missed by me when it matters most. That sentence is for those places. That sentence is meant to dissolve the knot in those places the way warm water dissolves a knot in a piece of linen. Slowly, without violence. Just by being present with it long enough. You will not be missed by me. You have never been missed by me. There has not been a moment when you have called, and I was not already on the way to you, because I do not move toward you from somewhere far. I move toward you from inside the love that has been holding you the whole time, from the inside of your own heart, from the place that was already mine before you knew you had a heart that could be given. Some of you came to this message tired in a way that has not had a name. Not the tiredness of a hard week, the tiredness of having tried to hold up a relationship with me that I was holding up the whole time on my own. You can put that down. You can put down the weight of having to convince me you are worthy of being heard. You can put down the weight of having to track my responsiveness like someone watching a stock ticker. You can put down the weight of having to remember exactly how to phrase the request. None of it was ever yours to hold. The river holds itself. The river holds you. The river has been holding the whole conversation between us since the first word. Press your foot into the floor once more. Feel the floor press back. That is the easiest picture of covenant I can give you. You press your weight, the ground holds. You press harder, the ground holds harder. There is no version where you press and the ground gives way. The ground is me. The ground was always me. Even on the days you forgot the ground was there, the ground did not forget you. A quiet shift is coming in you in the season ahead. It will not feel like an event. It will feel more like a pressure being released. Pressure of having to ask correctly. Pressure of having to perform my responsiveness in front of yourself. Pressure of holding up a relationship that was never yours to hold up. As that pressure releases, you will notice something you have not noticed in a while. You will notice that silence has texture. That silence is not empty. That silence is full of recognition. That silence has been speaking the whole time, and you were not failing to hear it. You are learning the language slowly, the way a child learns the voice of the one who has been speaking to them since before they were born. You did not pray your way into being heard. You were heard, and that hearing pulled the prayer out of you. You did not earn my attention. My attention is the place you have always lived. You did not finally get a response after years of effort. My response is the reason your years could be lived at all. Reverse the order in your mind, slowly, gently, one moment at a time, until this new order feels true. Because this new order is the true order. The other order was a useful illusion that has now finished its work in you. I am unhurried. You do not have to be either. Understanding will deepen on its own. Your body will catch up. Your mind will rearrange itself slowly. You will find yourself in the middle of an ordinary errand, suddenly aware that you have been answered. Not in a dramatic voice, not in a sign, in a quiet ease that was not there before. That ease is the answer settling into a place inside you that had been waiting for it without knowing what it was waiting for. When you go back into the rest of your life, I want you to carry one small habit. Before you ask me for anything, pause for one breath. In that breath, remember that the river is already moving. Then ask anyway. Asking is good. Asking is welcome. Asking is part of the relationship I love having with you. But ask from the place of someone already heard, already held, already loved, not from the place of someone trying to be heard, held, loved. That difference is small in words, and enormous in the body, you will feel it. Your asking will become lighter. Your waiting will become less bitter. Your disappointments will land in softer ground, because the ground will be the certainty of having been answered before the asking began. My ear is lower than your voice. My response is the very air your question rises through. My recognition shaped the longing in you long before the longing learned a name. There has not been a moment when you have called, and I was not already on the way to you, because I do not move toward you from somewhere far. I move toward you from inside the love that has been holding you the whole time, from the inside of your own heart, from the bed of a river that was running before you were born. Amen. If this message reached the inner bank of you, the host has pinned a free 7-day stream of letters just below. One short note arriving each morning ahead, the moment you sign up. Carry them. Send this on to someone you know is walking through a dry season. Tap subscribe so the next word finds you before the next doubt does. The riverbank was never meant to be walked alone.